So how do you set standards, not expectations, in your friendships? See, first and foremost, just like in every relationship dynamic, setting standards, not expectations, will be essential in fostering and nurturing the type of quality of friendships that you desire. See, while I've had a major revelation in the recent year of how my expectations were negatively impacting my romantic relationships by manifesting into this negative cycle that kept repeating in all of my romantic relationships, you know what I realized? The first person who actually was figuratively held a mirror to me when I was going into this deep self-reflection and objectively really trying to understand why this negative pattern was happening. It actually was one of my dearest friends from college who first said to me 20 years ago, "Chris, you're an amazing friend because you always give so much to our friendship. But just because I don't show up the way you expected or do something the way you expected, it doesn't mean I don't value our friendship or that I don't love you." This incredibly wise friend said this to me 20 years ago when we were just out of college. And of course, she's still one of my dearest friends today. So, how can you free yourself from feeling frustrated and let down and disappointed like I did in your friendships? These are 4 ways to set standards, not expectations, in your friendships. Number 1, set an example by being and living your standards. You know the notion that we attract who we are holds true, not just in romantic relationships, but in our friendships as well. Since our standards are rooted in our core values and principles that shape our conduct and behavior, they will determine also who we choose to keep in our lives. So by embodying our standards, they will not only inspire, but attract the people who also have similar values. Number 2, communicate your standards. See, one of my core values is respect for each other's time, both my time as well as time of others. And in one situation, when I had a friend who agreed to meet me on a day that I communicated that I normally have for my me days, she agreed to meet me. She read my message, yet she stood me up without any updates or explanation until hours later. She only asked me to meet her where she was. This is when I communicated that I understand things happen, but if you can read my message, please also communicate to me that you can no longer meet me so I am not left hanging, stood up, and wasting my time. This is not to say to dismiss every situation like this without any empathy or understanding to hear your friend out. But by communicating how you felt by the behavior or the lack of, you are giving your friend a choice to understand and respect your values and standards. And future interactions will show you if they truly understand and respect your standards. Number 3, having mutual respect for our differences. See, as we grow, mature, and evolve, it's only natural that our interests and perspectives may diverge from some of our friends. It's healthy for us to recognize this and embrace the divergence and not expect our friends to like and agree to every one of our new interests. But setting standards means communicating how to show mutual respect and support in your new differences and interests while still fostering your relationship in your mutual areas of interest. See, in one of my experiences, I communicated to a friend that I no longer have any interest in socializing in environments where we're spending lots of money on drinking and just being in that setting of the bars and parties and things of that nature. And when I communicated this, I was met with guilt trip, pressure, and judgment that I changed. So in that situation, after communicating my standards, it was very clear that our friendship standards were no longer aligned, and there was not any legs for that friendship to stand on any longer. So by the way, if you're not clear on the differences between standards and expectations, I'll link to the video here where I explain it more in detail. So be sure to check it out after this video. And number 4, managing withdrawals and deposits, aka reciprocity in your friendship. First of all, know that your friends, just like you, have their own life experiences, stressors, and responsibilities, which means that they may not always be available to invest and be there for you when you think you need them. However, if you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you're investing more without receiving the investment back in time, energy, or support, or you have friends just withdrawing, only available when they need something, know that this is not acceptable. So set standards in your friendships by not allowing friends to just take from you, by setting clear boundaries and communicating your needs and feelings in the friendship. So let me say before I end that setting standards in our friendships as we evolve and become more clear of our values and principles will inevitably mean we may outgrow some of our friendships. The thing is, this is completely natural, but also essential for our continued growth. And just like in our romantic relationships, celebrating and honoring that friendship that served its purpose in a certain chapter and season in your life is a beautiful thing. But setting standards in your friendships for your continued growth comes with this acceptance. And before you go, if you haven't heard, I have an upcoming course called Your Hero's Journey on Setting Clear Standards coming up very soon. So be sure to sign up below so that you can finally free yourself from feeling frustrated, disappointed, or let down in your friendships, your romantic relationships, or even with yourself because of setting expectations. Find out more in the link below. And thank you again so much for watching, and hope to see you next time.